Well, hello everyone. It's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. We had such an amazing day yesterday, and in fact, it really is morning my time that we both had the pre and post match live videos, the live chats, live broadcasts, podcasts, whatever you like to call. And yes, it was with a bevy of people. I've given some of the people a rest today because they're working very hard. And I'm very proud of them all. There's a whole range of people from Aparna to Pretty. They might still come on, but I'm expecting them not to, and I'm not concerned about that. We're going to have a rather private chat, you could argue, with. I can see Ray, Official Sai, Anjul. We're going to see quite a few people that are coming online. Zubinix, Ray again, Rajesh, Ashwata, Chris's fan club. Without Chris, so this is probably the first time in a long time, Chris is detained, and like Barnstead boy's father's there. Maybe we should bring the father on to replace the son. And yes, Barnstead boy starts by saying well played to India. Best team won in a great series. No excuses from this Englishman, and I bet 100% no excuses from Allan Morgan, and that's totally correct. Very dignified, very emotive yet responsible response from Allan Morgan. Interesting, Rohit Sharma fronted for the post-match press conference. I guess he could talk quite admirably about the team. We also have the likes of Virat Kohli was there in the press conference post-match, but the so-called recorded version, which is a bit further down, was Rohit Sharma with Allan Morgan, which they both look very admirable, very circumspect in some aspects, but generally very straight to the point. Chris fan club. Norman, will there be a members only session? Can this be on Zoom? Will Chris and Aparna be involved, please? Yes, they will be. They certainly will be. We'll have private chats. That's going to happen quite a bit. I'm going to be very detailed in my response to the messages today, and I'm glad you've got time. And I hope you're not bored by just having me here, because you can be free to ask me questions. The reality is we had an incredible, well, it was my time, it was about roughly 4:30 in the morning, went through to almost 7 a.m. So roughly well over 2 hours of live coverage. And we had some 20,000 people. Yes, 20,000 people were live viewing our episode this morning. So it might be a bit of a hangover for some of the people in terms of their lack of sleep. The reality is India did extremely well. I've just finished I was a little bit late. I actually did a video, and I've uploaded it regarding the newspapers, English newspapers, and I'll go through that a bit today as well, if you like. The reality is English newspapers use the words such as crumbled, thumped, rather disappointed in a way with the words, but they were all saying it was a rare T20I loss of series, that they've had some, I think it was roughly about 10 series that England actually won, the last being against India of all teams back in 2018. So it's quite an emphatic statement as to England having won most T20I series throughout the last 70 years and have been more winning than losing, hence their number one status for T20I. I'm not sure, but I think after this series you might find that one hell of a lot closer between England and India, and you might even argue that India deserved to be number one. But I would have to take that into the World Cup later on this year, and you'll probably see that if England, and I shouldn't say if, it's probably more like when England and India meet in the final, that the winner of that will be ultimately the number one T20I team in the world. Aptly at a World Cup makes a lot of sense in India, and it shouldn't phase England. They've had experience there now, but it certainly doesn't phase India. India have won the last two matches from having lost the toss, having lost the majority of the tosses, but in particular the last two, and having been sent into bat, put on the score, and then to have to defend that total, and England unable to chase that. And there was some talk in the papers as well about the match was in intensity after 33 overs, where England was still in with a good chance at 1 for 130 after some 13 overs, chasing the 224 that India scored. You could argue it was that close, but the pressure got to England, and India bowled particularly well. Bhuvneshwar Kumar was amazing. The series of dot balls that he bowled, and on top of that, Shardul Thakur, and his bowling was also excellent. Natarajan certainly chipped in his very first match in this series. Quite a bit of pressure on him, really. A lot of pressure on Natarajan. He had to actually bowl in his first match, and that was a so-called final and a rehearsal for the World Cup final indeed. So that's my summations at first, but India certainly deserves it. Rohit Sharma, 64, was magnificent. In fact, if he was not out, he would have scored, my God, 150. Virat Kohli was particularly strong on 80. I'm very disappointed, not on his batting. His batting was sensational, but I would love to have seen him score 100. But he was such a captain. He allowed Rohit Sharma to shine, also Sky Yadav to shine, and ultimately Hardik Pandya brought up the order above Pant to bat, and to bat very well, and an incredible strike rate of well over 200. It was 220, I believe. Sensational. So yes, I agree with the comments. We will be doing some private sessions, Chris Fan Club. I'm not sure if that's one person or many, but it won't matter. You've joined as a team. Chris Fan Club, yesterday you missed Chris's face. He was reflected by Indian comments, and Norman and Pretty rubbed more salt into the wounds by sledging him. He was about to cry. I felt pity and mercy for him. Well, I don't think he was about to cry. He copped it on the chin pretty nicely. Rajesh Ashwatha, he says, Jofra Archer ruled out for the ODI series against India due to an elbow injury. The papers, The Sun in particular, and I mentioned that in my English newspaper report, which you should all watch. It was mentioned about his being not only being an elbow injury, but actually a chronic elbow injury, and he'll be out for a substantial amount of time. Well, clearly the ODI series is relatively substantial, and he'll come perhaps to the latter part of the IPL, if at all, but that's going to be interesting because obviously there's a test series, ODI T20 type series going on, in fact, more so tests than ODIs in England. There's the World Test Championship in June as well in England, and that's going to round up quite a bit of activity for good old Jofra Archer. It'll be interesting how he sparingly is used through that period and allowed to rest. And if it's true to the name, a chronic elbow injury, we've got some problems there. I've been joined by someone. Allan Mullally's joined me. So I'll see if Alan can come on.
Fine.
Allan Mullally, how are you?
I'm good. Hang on.
You might want to speak a bit louder, Alan. I can barely hear you. So
Yep. Can you send me on the link to get onto the messenger, or but this on my iPad? I'm using my phone at the moment, that's all.
Well, that's right. Leave it as it is, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Okay.
Now, Chris Jordan, I've got to say one thing. That is the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
The one that Chris Jordan took. Jordan took that catch. Oh. Yeah, that was amazing. It gave Roy a very simple take, didn't it? He was able to take the ball nicely. For those who may not know Allan Mullally was a former English opening left-arm bowler, and he's a part of our group. We normally have one-on-one sessions, and we may have to look at that as well. So while you're moving along, I'm going to answer some of the questions. I'm going to answer some of the questions which we've got here. So these are questions which the fans are bringing up. We're talking about. We have a number of fans that talk about Official Sai, for example, is one of our members now, not just as a subscriber. And Satya Mishra is asking, who is your favourite batsman of all time? In my opinion, it's Sir Vivian Richards, which, Alan, you bowled. Did you bowl against Viv? You did.
Don't get me started.
Okay, we won't.
Am I allowed to tell a story about Sir Viv or not?
Well, in a minute, we'll get that. We'll answer the questions first, Alan. Try to get through the questions first, and we'll talk about those a bit later. All right, so Allan Mullally played for England.
Bullet question, Viv.
Okay, well, we'll talk about Viv. So the question was my favourite batsman of all time. That's certainly Sir Vivian Richards.
Absolutely.
And I've got no doubt about that. I mean, obviously, Donald Bradman was a superior batting average and the like, but if I were to pay money to watch someone bat, it'd be Viv Richards every single time.
Yep. It's only because when I was growing up as a youngster, as a fast bowler, not many fast bowlers in Perth, a million miles away from the Caribbean, idolised the batsman. I did, Viv.
Right. Well, look, he's amazing. And Viv Richards' influence over Ian Botham, for example, was quite immense because they both trained earlier on. So yet again, just to make it clear, Allan Mullally, how many games for England did you play?
I played 51 day internationals. I played 19 test matches. And you know what? Shane Warne was very annoyed about that. I got dropped from the England team when I was number 2 in the world, courtesy of Duncan Fletcher. You know why? Because I was too laid back.
Right, so you played 19 tests.
I'll try my best to get Warney onto our setup here. Because Alan, good mates, is he lived around the corner from me when he played for Hampshire. And he goes, hey, you should play 80 test matches for England. I said, yes, but in those days, we did things a bit differently. And even Stuart Broad said, if I played back in the 90s, I would have played 10 test matches. That's just the way they do things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not about how many, it's not about a number as such, but you played 19 test matches and what then you would have played 33 ODIs. Is that right?
About 50.
Okay, in total. All right. I'll just go through some of the more.
Duncan Fletcher kept saying to me, Alan, you won't make it with your laid-back attitude. Excuse me. I heard this my whole life, right? You're too laid back. Now, a good friend of mine is called Matt Letizia. He played football for Southampton, played for England. And they said you should never meet your hero. His hero was Glenn Hoddle from Tottenham Hotspur.
The soccer player.
Yeah.
The soccer player.
Yeah. And he met his hero and he hated him, despised him. Whereas my hero, like you said, well, not just the best batsman, but my hero is Viv.
Oh, I totally agree. Well, I'm going to go Barrel. Where are Chris, cricket view and review pundit? Where are Chris and Pretty? Well, Chris is unable to make it. Chris is here almost every day, so we can't excuse it. Both Chris and Pretty are here every day, so if they're not here, they're having a well-earned break. Now, Munchie's asking, Norman, are you safe from the flooding? Well, yes, I am. I'm in an area called Coogee, which is quite high up, even though it's near the beach. The areas which are flooded are normally outside of the Sydney area. There's a couple of areas which have got mild flooding. I saw an incredible spot yesterday at Mossman, which was the Mossman Rowers Club. They had literally a waterfall happening there, which was quite beautiful. So, Munchie, the issues around flooding, I think, have been slightly exaggerated in terms of the drama of it. They certainly are there. I'm not saying they're not, but I think I've seen a lot worse than this, and I think Brisbane's copped better or worse floods than this. So I think I'm certainly safe, and I think most people are. Where Allan Mullally is, of course, he's not in Sydney. He's
I'll tell you what. Oh my God.
How many kilometres are you away? How many kilometres away from Sydney? I think it's 5,000.
No, it's about 2,000 kilometres or miles. It's a long way. We're on the other side.
Let's just guess and say several thousand kilometres away from here.
So going from London to the south of Spain. That's a long way.
Just a couple of things I want to mention, by the way. I'm going specifically off the questions, Alan, to keep them a part of this conversation. New South Wales were all out for 32. Did you hear that today?
No, I've not followed it. You know what? Put my glasses back on. I've been so not overwhelmed, but just non-stop T20. And obviously, England playing against Sri Lanka in the test matches, and then India and Australia. They're meant to get us South Africa, the coronavirus, then New Zealand. It's just all over the shop. So I haven't had time to watch that.
I can tell you, New South Wales.
That's where I started.
New South Wales were all out for 32 today.
Oh my God.
I think. Bird took something like 7 for 19, I believe. He was a predominant. But he bought a beautiful swing and he cleaned up a lot of New South Wales batsmen. They were a bit thin on. They didn't have both Steve Smith and David Warner weren't playing in the side, but they did have a young Jason Sanger who second top scored with 9, and that was a series of ducks to start. So yes, good question, Marcus. It was quite a mess. But the thing was, Tasmania were done for they were very easily past the score.
What ground was that where they played?
I'm pretty sure that was Bellerive Oval. I'm pretty sure it was Bellerive and Tobart.
Yeah, I've been there once or twice. I actually had David Boone, LBW, but I was 18, but I'm really fast from the top end, away from the river. That was a noble.
Right. Oh, it's a great ground, though. Well,
That's a
look,
beautiful
can you see
ground.
you can see the questions, can't you? There's some people's.
No,
Can you see the question? Well, it
That's
probably
right.
is where your phone's up.
If you could send me the link like you did last time, I could put my iPad
No,
so it's bigger. And I could have a look.
that's okay. Well, that's all right. That's all right. We'll go with the ways. So Rahul Wakade is asking, tell me, Norman, in the ODI squad, why is Root there or not? Well, it doesn't look like Root is in the squad. He's
No,
there.
that's yeah.
But it's a pity because he should be. I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't actually announced where Root is. He's still in India, I believe, and if he's there, he should be playing because he's got a batting average over 50. So, very good question, Rahul. Let's look at Bobby Fett said, should Virat permanently move up the...
Can I just say, I don't know about it, Norman, but can I say just one thing?
Yep.
Which I thought was brilliant, because I'm good friends with, obviously, Wes Macra and all that lot. And Ravi Shastri, after the Test series, he said, yep, we've won the Test series, but thank God we just got to play Test cricket. These guys have been in hibernation. They wake up in the morning, jump onto their bus, go to the ground, play cricket in front of nobody, jump back onto their bus, go home to the hotel room, and then maybe the pool or the areas to have food for the past 3-4 months. And they turn up every single day. And Ravi Shastri said, thank God for the fact that they can do that. He said, Ravi Shastri said, we've never seen what's happened since World War II. And he said, it doesn't matter who won the Test series, just to play cricket is brilliant for the public. Actually, I was watching the game last night, the massive stadium in Ahmedabad. Now, actually, when Jordan took that catch, my mum, obviously I look after my mum, she just went to bed. I said, Mum, you got to come and see this catch. This is phenomenal. This is the best bit of cricket I've seen in my life. And the noise, the sound effects, the way they've done things, the IPL, the Big Bash year, it's just brilliant. It's been a tricky old year, and it's been brilliant the way they've put things on. And I take my hat off.
Okay. All right, I'll go back to the questions. Bobby Fett said, should Virat permanently move up to the opening slot in the white ball format? I personally think yes, absolutely. The only concern would be if he's if they have a plan on him and they may find him out, which I doubt they will. It might expose him of being an opener, but no, I believe, especially in the important matches, I would have him there every time. He has the highest number of T20 so does Robert Sharma now. He's second. Fancy having the number 1 and number 2 T20 batters in the world playing as openers. Not unlike Kalu and Jai Surya did for Sri Lanka back in the day in the ODI series.
I had to put up with them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that would be excellent. I think I actually did, I'm not bragging, but I did predict that Kohli would open, and he did. And I think it was a magnificent move, very bold, very daring as a captain. He will fail if he bats there occasionally, as all openers do on occasions, but he may well be the tonic. But we'll see. We're going to judge, but I think that it was almost a feather in his cap that he held it back to that match, and he may well continue to pick his moments to open. He may not open every single match, but I think he'll pick his moments. Very good question, Bobby. I'll go through some more. Rahul Warrikan, tell me, Norman, in the ODIs, we talked about that already. Let's have a look further. There's a lot of repeat questions I can see. So, hello, Norman. What's your take on Michael Vaughan's statements? Satya Mishra. Well, I think Michael Vaughan, when he speaks on Quick Buzz and a few other English-related broadcasts, he speaks with great intelligence and great questions. But I think on his social media, he adopts a more sensational approach, a bit of tongue-in-cheek regarding the pitch, some very, I wouldn't say stupid, but some rather silly comments on occasions as well. I think he's tainted his image a little bit because some people get quite annoyed by some of the frivolities that he has on his social media. But when he's talking serious cricket, he's right up there, and he certainly is an excellent captain. Did you have him as a captain, Alan?
Which one's that?
Michael Vaughan.
No. I wish I did. I really do. I had Michael Atherton. I played against Vaughanie, and God, I love playing against him. He's a Yorkshireman. And the Yorkshireman, like Goffey, great mate of mine, Goffey, and Chris Silverwood. I can't wait when he comes out. Silver's here, the England coach. I'll take him out fishing. And Norman, come to Perth. We'll go fishing with him.
For sure.
Great friend of mine. They're like Australians. They're different to the rest of England. They just have that thing about them. Varney, I wish I played under him as a captain, because he would have just said, Alan, there's the ball, do your thing. When I played under Alex Stewart, Atherton, and Hussein, they try and control everything. It's like, I don't tell you the bat. Just give me the ball and Goffey. And we used to drive us nuts. But Varney I thought Varney is Strauss. I don't think I played against Strauss, but I played against Varney, and it was great, a great challenge, great player, and I think he's a great captain. I think he was a catalyst for England going from being the way they were to being
there's no
a very,
doubt.
very good team.
Well, he was interviewed, and I saw an interview where he spoke about the fact that...
But he's also a strange chap as well.
Right. Well, Duncan Fletcher and he spoke together as coach and captain about what their plans were, and Michael Vaughan made it very clear he wanted to get rid of the old wood, as he could call it, which is not really a negative term. He wanted to start fresh, with fresh mindset. So that was a great statement. I think Michael Vaughan's statements on social media are a bit ordinary, but when he speaks for Crick Bars...
What did he say lately? That hence my words, he's a strange chap.
Yeah. All right, let's go through the questions. We're going through the questions a bit further up. Please, guys, don't repeat your questions. It's becoming a fair degree of numbers here. Pune spectators, are they allowed in the stadium? That's a good question. Up to this point, I haven't got an answer, but I believe they will not be. I know it's a different state. I think it's Maharashtra as opposed to Gujarat. I would, at this point, doubt very much that they're going to have any audience based on the escalation of cases in India. I'd be surprised if they will. If they do, it's a bonus, but at this point, I would say it's a no. All right, let's go further up. Guys, stop repeating your questions because it takes a long... Okay. All right, let's go through. I'm going to try and catch up.
Hey, Norman, can you please do me a favour?
Yep.
Can you please quickly send that link to my messenger so I can jump onto my iPad? Or not?
Probably because it's only you and I. Let's not. Let's.
No,
I know
it's no time if you can't. It's no problem.
Because I'm technologically challenged. By the time I did it, it'll be past midnight. So I think I'm more concerned about that, Chris. Sorry, Alan. I'm calling you Chris because I've had Chris on so often. Okay, Munchie. Should Coley? This is Munchie is a friend of Chris Vernon, by the way, Alan. Should Coley be censured for his behaviour after Butler's dismissal? Now that was interesting. I did remember that it was rather, deliberate and rather.
I was watching. Yep. Carry on, Norman.
I would say no.
What was it all about?
I think there's a bit of banter going on. There's a bit of banter. And look.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Okay, can I put my 2 bobs worth in for the guys?
Yeah.
The guys, the ICC, they get a bit too carried away. Like they waste so much time with these reviews. Like even I agree with Graham Swan. It's not out. You can see it a mile away. Why waste all these seconds, which add up, to say it's not out?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to me, I agree.
Can I have this? Can I have that? And then the fielding team gets in trouble for being behind the over rate. It's like you can't have it both ways. And also, I think banter is brilliant.
I think the stuff that Coley and Ben Stokes was up to was very exciting to see them at it, and I think Butler's the same, the same mindset. So I don't believe it needs to be censored. That if it was serious enough, and I don't know what the words were, I think they would. I think they've left it at that. And Sadia Mesh was asking what is wrong. Sorry.
Okay. Can I tell you a quick story about me and Steve Ward during the Ashes?
Which Ashes we're talking about?
Brisbane, we got stuck in. He gave me his mental dissertation. He was abusing me in a humorous way, etc. And then as in Brisbane, second test was the whacker. Away we went again. And then we're getting stuck in. It's called banter. And then it's funny because Steve Ward spoke here, back a few months ago, several months ago, in Perth. And I said to him, he left me tickets at the Birdswood Casino, Crown Casino. And I said to him, well, he knows. I said, my proudest moment, he goes, what else? You've cheaply played 18 years of county cricket and 7 years of test cricket and etc. You've seen the world. He goes, what's your proudest moment? Now, he never prompted me. Now, I could have said, getting Sachin Tendulkar out, or Alan Gilchrist, my bunny, or etc. And I said, you know my proudest moment, Steve? I said, my proudest moment was when I was the first to the nets at the Adelaide Oval for the third test, and you were the last to leave, and you walked over to me after having banter at the Gabba and in Perth, and he put his hand out and shook my hand. He said, Alan, I'm really enjoying the banter between me and you. Now, that's what it's all about, banter.
Oh, look, as long as you leave the banter on the field.
Norman, then in Melbourne, I've got Darren Goff at mid-on, and I'm bowling to, I think it was Mark Waugh, and Steve Waugh's and the non-strikers, and I've got Darren Goff, who's a very good friend of mine, which when we go into our private stuff, he goes, Alan, you're bowling quite slow. I said, Darren, why? He goes, well, you're bowling 90 mile an hour. I said, yeah, that's quite fast. He goes, well, I can bowl 91. I'm bowling faster than you right now in his big Yorkshire accent. And Steve Waugh, the non-strikers end, just turns around and goes, Al, I said, don't you start. He goes, well, I will. I can bowl faster than you. I'm like, oh, my God. I've got him from – I've got Darren Goff at mid-on. I've got you, the batsman. I give up. But joking aside, I had a good chat with Steve Waugh the other night and about various other things. And I said, why do you abuse me so much? He goes, well, I tried my best, but he just kept laughing at me. So I kept trying to snake you even more. He just kept laughing. So I didn't know what to do. That's no good. He goes, I only get stuck into guys I respect, which is nice.
Well, that's a great story. We'll come back to that, so that sounds interesting.
Yeah, more questions.
There's a question for you directly from Vasant Narain. He has asked, have you seen Mohammad Siraj bowling, and how would you think he would go if he was bowling in the ODIs coming up?
Mohammad Siraj,
he came in to replace. He got the 5 from the last test. He's the guy that was not sledged, actually victimised.
Oh, I tell you what, I have got he has the bit of a bob at the back.
Oh yeah, that's
it. The right armour.
That's it.
You know what? I've got the utmost respect for him. And, you know, I actually said to my mum, who I look after, I said, see that guy there? I think I would pay money to watch him play. If you know the background of what he's all about. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's what cricket is all about. I think he learned from playing tennis ball cricket. And from nowhere, he was here in Australia as a net bowler. And then he went out there. I think and then did the business when they won the Test series here. I think he is brilliant.
Well,
absolutely brilliant. And I think I would like to get a hold of him and teach him a few things about which we will do, Norman, in due course in the Punjab region. But I think he is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
His character's amazing.
He's just gone from it's like imagine going from driving a push bike to a Lamborghini. That's a bit of a daunting task. That's what he did. And it's just, thank you for popping in. He's brilliant. Absolutely, utmost respect.
Well, he led the bowling attack in him, which was quite amazing as well. Okay, we've got some questions here. I'm going to keep lots of questions. Warney and Mullally, best spinners of all time versus the Afghan spinner. What do you know? The Afghan spinner, of course, is that Rashid Khan. And also, so the question is, I guess it's more of a comparison. You faced Warne, didn't you? And
I faced Mullally. Yeah.
How did you find them?
Have you seen my test batting average?
Okay, I probably shouldn't be asking that question.
I'll be serious. They are brilliant. You know what? I've faced Mullally in some part of Sri Lanka.
Right.
And I was being a tail ender. They give you out when you know.
Was it up in the mountains in Kandy, or was it down in Colombo?
Yeah, I think it could have been Kandy.
Yeah.
And we had a beautiful hotel on the top of a mountain. And you look down over the forest with elephants. Then all of a sudden, a baboon come flying. Thank God I had my window shut. So I faced Mullally. It was the first time. It could have been. I've got a trophy there somewhere. It was the first time anybody's played at that ground. So it could have been Candy. It was such a beautiful place. Now, who's the hardest thing to face? They're both brilliant.
All right. So another question here. Another question for you. There's quite a few actually, but there's one. Okay. Well, I'll ask. So, Cricket View and Review pundit says England has one of the best ODI teams of all time, if not the best. What is your or our prediction of upcoming ODI series between number 1 and number 2 teams in the ODI? Well, I'd argue the T20 competition, they're a lot closer. But in ODIs, I think there might be a bit more of a spread between those. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. What are your thoughts on that?
T20 is so crash bang wallop. I think we've got a brilliant T20 team. So is India. But you know what? It's a lot of it's all on the day because it's so fast. It's like football, soccer. You know, you striker. Oh, you missed by a foot, win or lose. But also, because I did play T20 many years ago, and it was so fast. But when you take a step back, you've got lots of time really, which makes the 50-over game a bit slower. Those test matches, apart from India, which I thought was dynamite, a bit slower.
Okay. Well, let's go through some more questions.
Who's my money on? Because you just don't know.
Let's have some more questions. Was this more of a statement? Dreamer DD says India should continue to be aggressive. I agree with that.
Yep.
We also have your assessment of the Indian fast bowling cartel. How can India use them better? And again, who is your favourite bowler and why? Fast bowler.
For India?
Yeah. So the current Indian cartel of bowlers.
Yep.
What do you think of them? What can they improve? And
I think they're
who's your favourite?
Brilliant. How can they improve? I know that a lot of Indians are vegetarian. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but they are vegetarian. I've been there, done that. I think they need, like Javagil Srinath from Bangalore was a vegetarian, right? And they tried to get him to eat some chicken or some fish because you need protein to replace or to replenish the muscles. So you can go from test after test after test, one day after one day. Now, if you look at Pakistan in comparison, Wazim, Waqar, Imran Khan, Shoaib Akhtar, they eat beef, they eat fish, they eat chicken, and that's what. And I said this when I was in India: you can't bowl day after day on tofu and being a vegetarian and legumes. Because the guys are very lithe, but they come along and it's like a roller coaster ride or conveyor belts. To stay there for a while and be strong, you need to change your diet. That's what I would say. But in terms of the cartel,
hang on. Okay, that's fine. That's a good comment. But who's your favourite bowler out of that cartel?
Jasprit Bumrah and the guy you just said.
Who's the second?
The guy you just said.
Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj and Bumrah.
Yeah, the righty and the lefty. Watch out for him.
Natarajan.
Watch out for him. He's not quick. He's not tall. But neither was Chaminda Vass.
Okay. So Anuj Ingle agrees with your discussion on the vegetarian aspects. But of course, if they're a vegetarian, I guess you can't make them do something there.
It makes it very hard. I've been there as part of, not necessarily, if I'm wrong, tell me, their religion. It's just if they feel if they kill an animal, they're killing their mother. And that's just
okay. But let's let that topic be.
I know. So yeah, that's
all right. So can we go on to the next question? Next question. The third umpires are making some stumping decisions based on hunches and assumptions. What about the soft signal for runouts and for catches and obviously stumpings? What's your opinion on soft signals?
In terms of when they go to the third umpire,
takes out the umpire.
My opinion is exactly the same as Shane Warne's. If you need to, when you have a review, I honestly think it should go straight to the third umpire, which means the on-field umpire's opinion is null and void.
Yeah.
Then it goes to the camera and the DRS and the SNCO. And then, because the thing that drives me nuts, to be honest with you, where the ball might be hitting the stump by an inch. And if the umpire says not out, then it's not out. But if he says it's out, then you go to DRS or the third umpire, it's out. Now, you can't have two different decisions on the one ball. So you're out or you're not. I think once they go to the third umpire, that's it. Third umpire, he runs the show. The guy in the field, thank you. Null and void.
Fair point. All right, let's have a look what else we got. Let's have a look at this. Alan, a question about Ben Stokes and how he plays in T20s. And can he play in all three formats, but T20 in particular? He's not used as a batsman properly, or nor is he bowling has been effective. So there's a bit of an inconsistency about, is he more of a batting all-rounder or a bowling all-rounder, how to best use him? Your thoughts?
My thoughts, okay, here's the deal. He should bat three.
He should bat three?
Yep. Move him up.
Well, if you've got Kohli opening up the batting, I get you put one up throw.
So what we've got is Josh Butler and Milan opening. Is it Milan?
Milan's first drop.
Well, first drop. You know what? I was Josh Butler. Who else with Josh? I should know. Josh Butler. Who else with him?
What do you mean?
Like last night, you got Josh Butler.
He batted extremely well.
Yeah, and the other fellow was
Well, Roy opened up the batting with.
Oh yeah, Roy to me. I've got a question mark there. I'd go Roy, thank you. Put Milan into open because he's such a talent, but he's got a great knack of just not stressing. Just okay, I can't hit that for a 4 or a 6. I'll just hit that for a 1 or a 2. I'd have him opening. I'd put Stokes 3, Owen Morgan 4, and I'd float Roy.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about Owen Morgan. He didn't get much of an opportunity to bat at all through the series, and when he did, he failed.
Like the shot that Roy played last night, I'm like, please, you get that in club cricket. I think
exactly.
I think Milan is absolutely. Until last night, I thought, what's the fuss about? This guy was scoring. His striker was quicker than Kohli's without playing a shot in anger. I'd have him open with Butler. I'd have Stokes at 3, and then Morgan at 4. I'd float Roy, and then the rest of them, Bairstow and all that, to just tee off at the end.
I mean, they're going to change it.
One thing I would do if I was the bowling coach, I would grab the bowlers aside and say, what the hell are you doing with this slow ball? I'm sorry, Jofra, and you guys, if you bowl that rubbish again, you're out. Half-track slow balls in India go out the park. How about we swap the half-track slow ball for good old-fashioned Lasith Malinga, 90 mile an hour Yorker?
And Jofra Archer is certainly capable of a good Yorker, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I was tearing my hair out. I'm like, what are you doing? A good Yorker's a good Yorker. Just bowl a blimmin' good Yorker. At your pace, I mean, they keep going on about how quick they are. 86, 85, 88. Do you know how fast Jack Callis bowled? 88 mile an hour.
Right.
Alan Donald hit me in the head at 98 mile an hour in Johannesburg. So they're not that quick.
All right. This Biram Irani's just asked, my question was in reference to non-DRS reviews, like having soft signal for catches but not having for run-outs and stumpings. Well, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about there, but a soft signal regarding a catch, I get that. Run-outs and stumpings, why would you do it any differently than what we are now? I don't think there's anything wrong with run-outs and stumpings. It's more that the catch and the reliance on the actual player to be able to be honest with what he's doing as well, which wouldn't help. Okay. So Vivek Machado has asked me to bring rid of Apartheid. Well, she's on the contract to India today in sports today, so I don't think we're going to be able to do that. And we've got a partner in Pretty who've done a very good job. So that's the end of that question. Okay. All right, guys. Well, please ask questions that are relevant to cricket, not necessarily people. because we want to know about cricket and the way that it relates to cricketers.
Absolutely. People
we
politics,
can have,
no thank you.
Yeah, well, people we can have not have on the show, but we're doing our best to put everybody on there. You know that very well. So, all right. India struggled through to the win in England. How can this Indian team trouble the English batsmen? And who will we plan to be winning it? It's a confusing question. What should be the Indian combination? Okay, so effectively, what's the best combination for India against England is what we're talking about. I think they've found that now. I think they're going to bowl. They're going to have a 6-bowler attack. I think, which is a clever move. They should back the batsmen they've got and have 6 bowlers. They need it because when 5 bowlers are bowling, if you stuff up, you want to have an option. I think they're to support that. So I think that was pretty evident. And I think Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma have both mentioned in both their press conferences, pre and post match, that they are adamant that the 6-bowler option is what they're going to be looking for in the future. And with Jadeja coming back, he'll be able to fit that 6 option very well. There's a question about whether Ashwin will be back in the side as like a T20 World Cup swan song. Well, it better be for the right purposes. We're not really should be manufacturing a position for someone based on their farewell. No.
Nope.
I think that's
I
totally agree. No. All right. Okay. Enough T20s. Well, how about some Ashes in India? England test show predictions. It's way too early, to be honest with you. But I would argue there's a fair bit of cricket still to go on. England are playing New Zealand in England. They're playing India. They've got a World Cup coming. There'll be a lot of change. What do you think of both, Alan? What do you think of both the Broad Anderson scenario for the Ashes in Australia?
You know what? They've been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There's a fellow called Ian Chappell who played a bit of cricket for Australia, one of the captains of Australia, who said to Shane Warne, he said, son, because Shane Warne said, when do you think I should retire? And Shane Warne, who then said to me, by the way, at Hampshire, when he was my captain there at Hampshire, he said, well, you retire like this. When you have people down the pub or down the restaurants or down the beach saying, why did Shane Warne retire? As opposed to, why didn't he retire? And that's why I retired after 18 years of county cricket, which is a hard old slog. I turned down a 3-year contract. Why are you retiring? You do really well. As opposed to, why aren't you retiring? Because you get remembered for your last year. I think they should just say, you know what, it's been brilliant, thank you, move on. Because out here, with the Kookaburra, we are in a hiding to nothing with them two. We really are.
Yeah, so the reality is, you're right. You retire when you're on top, not when you're going down.
When the slope goes that way, you go, thank you, I'm out of here.
But the reality is,
for a lot of guys, it's hard to swallow.
Well, is James Anderson going to hold on until next year? I think he's making a mistake if he does. He's best. He would like to. He would like to.
What happens if when he plays at the Gabba, it's a flat wicket, lose a toss, you're bowling first, and it's hot, and then you come to Perth or wherever they're going to go, and it's hot. Then Adelaide, and it's hot, and you're 39, and the wicket's flat, and it's a Kookaburra. You got 8 to 10 overs to get 3 or 4 wickets. Otherwise, you're chasing. They're going to set up 400. So I think find some new quicks. I think the Ashes. I think the opening attack should be Archer and Wood, and then find whatever else you can find.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
But Norman, you can tell me they get paid a lot of money to just try to hang on and hang on and hang on and hang on, as opposed to Queen and Country first. If that makes sense at all.
But then I think for Anderson's sake, he's done so well. He needs to leave on top. Now, if it's going to be this series. Yeah. All right, let's have a look here. We've gone 44 minutes, so we'll go until the hour today. So let's have a look at some more questions. I feel India have a damn good chance with the current team, obviously with the World Cup I'm managing. They played yesterday, and they'll be able to play in India very well, and they should be able to win the World Cup. Well, that's a fair point. I would agree with that. They're in their box seat. I just don't know whether they're ranked number 1 or not. They probably deserve to be. Could the toss have a great impact on upcoming ODI series? Not as much as the T20, in my opinion. But I think India have broken the back of that. They're quite happy to lose the toss because they're able to play very well in the last 2 matches against in crucial moments.
In my opinion,
go ahead.
Is it Aaron Finch, the Aussie captain?
Yep.
Watch out for him. Mitchell Stark, watch out for him. The keeper, who's the batting? For Australia, lefty.
Carey.
Tasmania.
Well, Tim Payne, but it's not Tim Payne. He took
No.
Matthew Wade.
Watch out for him. And one lad, watch out for, is from Perth, the righty. Oh God, his name's forgotten me. I'm mates with his father. Young bloke, right arm. He also keeps.
Right.
Did really well in the Big Bash. He played the other night.
Okay.
Oh God, what's his name? Played in the Aussie team the other night in the T20.
Philippe. No.
Steve Philippe is his dad, who played for South Perth with me many, many moons ago. Watch out for him.
Yeah, he looks good too. He does look good. So is Sunny Singh saying, is India the new superpower in cricket? Quite clearly they are. They've been for some time, along with Australia and England. New Zealand certainly are up there as well. And we can't discount West Indies, Pakistan. Sri Lanka's suffering a little bit, I must say, in South Africa as well. They seem to have lost their edge quite considerably since a few of their, like the Dale Steins and AB de Villiers probably went a bit too early. That's a bit of a pity. But again, he finished on top. Dale Steyn had injuries, but he finished relatively on top.
Thank you. I've had my time. Like Wazim Akram, Wakar Yunus. I've had my time. Thank you. Next. That's the way it goes. You can't play forever, you know.
Yeah, well,
I think it's going to be brilliant. I know it's in India, and also there's variables like the conditions, the heat, the climate. India, like I said last time I was here, it's a blimmin' hard place to play cricket. It's a fantastic country, and I can't wait to get to Punjab with you, Norman, which we're lining up. But oh my lord, it'll
be fun. Well, we're going to organise plenty of things there, as you know, so that'll be good. All right, so they're asking what's wrong with the England playing 11. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the England playing 11. They were just beaten by a better side. I think England's side was quite good. I don't think there's an issue there at all. Kuldeep. There's Sartak Singh asked about Kuldeep. I feel sorry for him. He's played, whenever he's played well. They seem to overlook him constantly, and his mind must be playing games on him at the moment. He must be wondering what he's done wrong, because he should have been in the side at least more often than he has been.
Thing is, though, when you've got 1.3 billion people, there's a lot of cricketers. I was talking the other day, in India, if you don't get, well, it's gone from getting a century, like in first class cricket, to be looking good, it's now double centuries and triple centuries, and that's a high standard, and that's at 15 years of age.
Alex Hales is another one they've made comments about. He always comes up. He's a very exciting player to watch, but he's got some discipline issues that they have not addressed properly yet. And I'm not sure what the circumstances are, but he's on the nose. He won't be selected until he cleans himself up. So, unfortunately, that is the case.
I'm with you. I think I'm with you.
I mean, he's a brilliant player.
I'm with you. Yeah, I got you. Yep.
So Johnny Bairstow and Morgan's another question. Didn't go well for England in the last 5 T20s. Well, I feel sorry for Bairstow. He was thrown in the deep end a bit, and Allan Morgan so polite lets everyone else bat over the top.
Can I say a quick thing about Johnny Bairstow?
Yep.
I played a game. I know his dad, or knew his father, and I said to Mum last night, for that lad to go out there and play. I won't go into detail. But for that lad to go out there and play cricket for his country like he has, if you know the history of I'm just so proud. I think it takes a lot of courage. Because if that was me, I'd be like, I'll go play soccer or music or something else. So I think it's a brilliant way. I think he has achieved miracles, that lad. And I wish him all the best in the world.
Yeah, that's nice of you. The other person that gets a mention in the comments is Shubman Gill. Is he worthy of playing in the Test series? Sorry, in the T20 series, or in fact now the ODI. I think he's a chance for the ODI for sure.
Can I just say, I'm going to butt in here with you, Norman, on that one. You know why? It's funny you say that. Last night, looking after my 82-year-old mother, right? I'm watching the game last night. My mum comes from nowhere, watching the game. She goes, "Where's my mate Gil?" That's an 82-year-old English lady who emigrated here. Where's my mate Gil? I like watching him play. I think he's brilliant. Now, there's a lady, those listening, who took me to cricket when I was 13. That's a long time ago. So there you go. Is he worth his spot in the team? Yes.
Yeah,
he's got a few things. How can I put it? I think he needs to look. He's got a very good. He's very methodical. I think he needs to have a bit more like Steve Smith, flamboyancy about him, and then you'll just see a bloke who's a class act.
It's funny. Sonny Singh's one of the people here says he can't understand Australian English, mate. Well, Allan Mullally is actually not Australian; he's actually English. So I'm understanding pretty clearly. I think the only thing is, Alan, you probably have a volume control thing. You need to just talk a bit closer.
That's why. I've got a full volume, I think, but it's just I'm on my iPhone, not my iPad.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hang on, cam mic. Let me have a look. Audio.
That's better. That's better.
Audio microphone. Hello.
I can hear you nice and loud. That's good.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear you, Alan.
Hello.
Alan, that's enough. I can hear you.
Okay. Is that loud enough?
Okay. All right. So
it's called technology. I'm not good with it.
I know. Okay, so the reality is that we've got an ODI series, 3 ODI series. India have now won the Test series against, obviously, they've won against Australia, now England. Now they're on the T20I against England. They've got 3 ODIs. I'm predicting myself that the first ODI will go England's way, and then India will reciprocate, and then we'll have a ding-dong third match. What's your thoughts?
Where are they playing?
Pune.
Where on earth is that?
Well, that's part of Maharashtra. It's not far from where they've been playing now. It has a historical museum on cricket, which is very impressive.
I think it's an amazing country. So is it above sea level?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yep.
Depends on the
wicket. It's a pretty. It'll have an element of turn to it. It won't be a lot different to any other Indian pitch. I think.
I think it'll. T20's bish bang wallop. I think guys like Pant and the other chaps, apart from Kohli and Rohit, be like, it's a bit of a game in slow motion now. Let's see what you got.
No, I think that Rohit Sharma's a special for the ODIs. He loves ODIs. He's probably one of the best in the world. So is Virat Kohli. And I think although there isn't a lot of emphasis on ODIs at the moment because of the T20 World Cup, there's more emphasis on the T20. So we may see a bit more experimentation in the batting order and new players being bloated perhaps. But I think that England will win the first, India will win the second, and it'll be a toss-up for the third. But I think India might yet again come home with a wet sail and win the third. And
the thing is, right, it's hard to know what's going on. You've got a few guys who are regulars, but the rest are going in, out, try this bloke, try that guy, just all to see who will fit for their squad for the T20 World Cup. That's what this is all about now. Like New Zealand playing Bangladesh. It's all about who can do what. And mind you, I'll tell you one thing. You give me that left ball when I was 20 years of age, in my left hand, in that last game, New Zealand against Bangladesh, against the West Indies of the 80s, Australia of the 90s, it's game over.
Okay,
that was a minefield.
Yeah, there's a question here as well about, Josh Archer we know is returning because of due his recurring, or what's the word for it, his chronic elbow injury. Kohli opened the batting, yes, and he should play there. But KL Rahul, well, it was made clear by Rohit Sharma in the press conference that KL Rahul, unfortunately, was taken out of the side because they need an extra bowler, and they are by no means giving you any indication or guidance towards KL Rahul's future. He's in the mix and will always be in the mix, and is a potential starter in matches in the future. So he's not been banished at all, nor is Darwan, although they may use a lot of the other younger blokes in future series without a doubt. All right, we're getting close.
Can I throw some bit of controversy in there, if that's okay?
What is it about?
Jofra Archer. I think he is vastly overrated.
Why?
In my humble opinion.
Why?
They're all going about how he just ambles up and bowls so quick. He bowls 85 mile an hour. Yeah. 88 mile an hour. Yeah. When he bends his back, he might hit 90 every now and then. Yeah. Waqar Younis, Wazir Akram, Alan Donald bowled 90 mile an hour plus for fun.
Yeah, but I think that Jofra Archer's record's been pretty damn good so far. He might be overrated, but he certainly is producing. So I think
maybe I worded that incorrectly. He could be a damn sight better.
I think as a John Lewis, John Lewis, I think he's coached. He's done well with him.
He played for Gloucester. We didn't go on very well. Nice.
Yeah, I think we'll find that he'll get better. You're right. He's pretty raw still, but he's an incredible bowler, I think. And if he's able to get his mindset right, and obviously get over this chronic elbow injury which he has, which
have you ever seen Waqar Younis bowl really quick when he was 20? Reverse swinging the ball.
I can imagine.
I faced it. Jofra Archer ain't no Waqar Younis.
And he may not.
Can be, of course. He's got has he got the potential to be with that action? No. He'll get bounced, bit of pace, but he reminds me a bit of a lithe, slim Sylvester Clarke, who was also from Barbados. Could bowl very quick of a short run. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope he can do a lot better. But I'll tell you what shows is that the lack of really quick bowlers around the world.
That's true. There is certainly a lack.
Difference, Norman, there's a big difference in 85 mile an hour, 88 mile an hour, and 94 mile an hour.
I mean, the main places where fast bowlers seem to be coming most is actually surprisingly from India now and from Pakistan. I think they're the two locations.
Pakistan's always that quick. I mean, Imran Khan was medium pace compared to the guys these days. Shoaib Akhtar, Wazir Waqar, and then you got Courtney and Kirtley. Oh my God, Tomo and Lily.
Now, Ritesh Shirashara is asking an interesting question: who's a better batter, Bruce Reid or you?
You know something? I was rubbish, but I'll tell you one thing. I hooked Alan Donald for a 6. After he hit me, and then he hit me in the head next ball in Johannesburg, and I was batting with Darren Gough. And I hooked Wazir Akram for 6 at the Oval. Also, at least I got behind the ball.
Well, that's good. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. As the batter.
I love batting. I love facing very fast bowlers. I love batting. Actually, no. Here's the difference. When I played, I had to face the fantastic lithe quickness of Nasser Hussain, about 5 mile an hour, and Atherton with his leg spin. Then they go, oh, there you go, Al. Go face Wazir Akram, reverse swing at 90 mile an hour. Thank you very much. A bit different to these days. Right, I love batting. But, bro, can I tell you just a quick story? I played a game for Western Australia with Bruce Reid. We were both batting together, and he was facing a left-arm quick, or medium pacer, called Mike Whitney.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Of course.
And Bruce Reid stepped away almost in the return crease and let the ball go, right, at in Newcastle. And the ball went between the leg stump and Bruce Reid through to the keeper. But Bruce Reid just cracked up laughing.
Okay. Amazing. All right, we're going to take 2 more questions and we're going to finish up. Okay.
Ask me a great question.
Oh, it's just... They're asking about Virat Kohli, which we've already had. Who Dares wins Mike Whitney? Yeah, that's a TV show, of course. All right. I think we've I think we'll just about finish the questions for the moment. Alan, I'm going to thank you for coming on for the hour. We're
brilliant.
finished now. So again, thanks all of the viewers for your questions and comments, and thanks Alan for joining us and helping me answer them all. And we're going to have another session in the future, so stay tuned to Norman Kochnick on Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. Please stay tuned, and we'll view, like, and share.
Norman, hopefully, I can get guys like Waz Makran, and Shane Warne on board. Adam Gilchrist. We'll see how we go.
Thank you. All right, so view, like, and share the post. Subscribe. There's also the membership levels you can join. There's the super stickers. There's a way of interacting with people through private Zoom classes and the like, which we'll talk in the future. So this is Norman Kochnick for Eyes on Cricket. Thanking you all for your time tonight. We'll see you. I'll be with you tomorrow night, as you always know. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Norman.
Oh, and I must also say thank you to Allan Mullally, former England bowler, all the way from WA. What time is it there now, Al?
It's only 8:38.
Okay. All right. Well, then you take care, everyone, and thank you very much.